Daniela, the majority of the students who are enrolled in the Creative and Cultural Industries MBA have a background in this sector. Also, they run businesses or projects that they look to monetize. I'm curious, how can design thinking enhance the ability of creative people to spot business opportunities?
Thank you for having me first on this interview. It's funny because we just had a moment where the students were challenged to develop business ideas around their partner's needs. And the exercise we did is a very common exercise in design thinking called the wallet challenge. So basically, I invite them to design a better or a perfect wallet for their partner. And the beauty of it is to see them go through the steps of the process, which is an iterative process, but for the sake of learning, we do it in a linear way. And to see them how they suffer from not jumping to solutions and jumping to conclusions, and how they discover needs and desires of their partner, of their user, of their client through ethnographic deep research and applying empathy. The biggest aha moment I see in your students, in our students, in the cohort students from the Creative and Cultural MBA at the Fabis, is that students realize they have this inherent ability to listen and to connect to their customers. And it's an ability they don't know they have. And I think design thinking throughout the different tools and methods and techniques of the process really surfaces those hidden abilities and talents and makes them more confident. Confidence means they then understand the value of their work and can ask money for it. So it's twofold. First, they understand the huge competitive advantage they have towards business-oriented or business-thinking people or entrepreneurs, which is the ability of deep listening, of creating that connection with your end users and applying empathy to finding the real needs of your users and innovate from there. And the second opportunity I see engaging them through this process is that they gain that confidence to understand the value of their work.
Great. So how could you resume to 5 words the key takeaways from your course?
Oh, I think they should do that. It's really very different. I'm sure they could resume their 5 takeaways.
So far.
Well, from their feedback so far, today they left with a lunch break saying, "My brain hurts and I'm truly inspired. It's been 6 years that I haven't used my creativity on such a structured and efficient way. I had no clue I'm so good at this." So these are the types of feedbacks I hear. Thank you for motivating us and for giving us the trust in our industry. One girl actually left the room and said, "You know what? I was always very shy on assuming that I work in the cultural and creative industries. I tried twice to finish a business degree and failed. And this is my 3rd attempt to get a business degree. And finally, I feel at ease with announcing to the world that I am a cultural and creative person and I work in this sector." So it's really very different.
Okay, speaking of this different mindset of a business person, or let's say a manager, right, versus a designer's mindset, what are the key differences and similarities, and why shall we embody both of these mindsets?
Well, business-educated people tend to, again, that's not a rule, tend to think very numbers-driven. And their decision-making process is also numbers-driven, meaning that the data they use is mostly connected to the type of numbers they want to have in the end. It's also a creative process. It's called playing and twisting with Excel sheets. And the creative people I found, they put more emphasis at the beginning of the process, where they create new opportunities, create choices before making the decisions. I think that designish and managementish are 2 languages that any entrepreneur or any leader should speak. To me, they are just different languages. I think speaking the designer's language and applying designerly ways of doing and thinking is really important, especially when you enhance that human part of your business process. When you look at making the best out of the people who work with you, when you look at really finding those specific needs of your clients and creating that emotional connection to them. And you need the numbers-driven decision-making and mentality when you take decisions on the implementation of your product, on improvement or optimization, more incremental innovation type of work. That's both important. And you asked how design thinking can help, merge these two worlds. Design Thinkers Group, one of the founders, Anne, said, design thinking is the glue between all disciplines. And to me, design thinking is the glue between design and management. So by applying this vocabulary and this set of social practices around the designerly ways of doing and thinking, and by teaching this language, both designerly people and managementish people, you have that common vocabulary that helps you bring both types of people, and by the way, also engineers, to the table and creating really breakthrough innovations.
What is the profile of the students that you have currently in the MBA class?
First of all, the profile of the students I see when I come to these classes is smiling people. Beautiful, smiling faces. It's really great for the teacher's experience to look into those enthusiastic, expectant eyes that come back to school, most of them after years of being in the industry. They're shy and scared of what's going to happen next. They feel uncomfortable with being back in school and being as a student. And as a professional background, most of them have a leading position. They say things like, "Oh, it's so good that you take care of us and we don't have to take care of everything." The industries are very mixed. So we have people from the events industries, conferences, and all types of events. We have this year people from the music industry, both performers and backstage artist managers. We have people that are architects or have led big national agencies to move budgets around filmmaking. And we also have people from the policymaking sphere. And then, very obvious fashion designers, jewelry designers, small entrepreneurs. So really across all disciplines of creativity, design, and cultural production.
Great. I know that design thinking is a methodology, right? And it consists of 5 steps that you don't necessarily take on a linear way. But I'm curious, which step in the design thinking process bridges the idea generation with the business? When do you start to think of your idea as a business project?
Yeah, I like to speak of design thinking as a social practice. So less a process and set of tools and methods and techniques, which is also true, but also a set of practices. And as a set of practices, it's something you embody in your everyday work. So it depends on the strategy that you apply and on your timeline to decide when are you stopping the idea generation, exploration mode and go into the exploitation mode where you actually make money with what you found out. So you do have this divergent phase where you go out there and explore and are incredibly playful. You generate new ideas and you have converging moments. Such as when you test your ideas with your end customers, where you basically apply a more analytic thinking and you force yourself to accept that there are constraints. There are constraints in technology that you can apply, there are constraints in budgets that you can have, and there are constraints in a way that you need to have a return of investment at a certain point. Absolutely. And you need to pitch to investors to get money, either if it's public investors or if it's private investors. I don't think for the implementation and project management of ideas, I don't think designerly ways of thinking and doing are the most accurate and appropriate thing to do. We have a model where we embed agile ways of working with design thinking. And the thing that we do here in this module is that after the students have developed or detected that business opportunity, either if it's a product innovation or a service or a new experience they want to create for the Romanian public, or a completely new campaign that shifts the narrative of the public policy making, then they get acquainted to things like business model canvassing, how to create a business plan, how to write a compelling pitch presentation for different types of stakeholders, and how to adapt it to that. And then it's just pure project management, and that's it. And I think when you go into project management implementation, you should be very aware of having a different mindset, which is maybe not so explorative and not so open, if that's what your question was pointing at.
Yes. But we start the masters, the MBA, with your course.
Yeah.
To spot business opportunities, to learn to collaborate, to work in teams.
Exactly, to learn to collaborate. So for me, the hidden champion of the design thinking process, the unintended beauty that comes out of every process, is really that team collaboration. So you practice collaboration and you practice to work with what's in the room and to value everyone and their experiences. And that's what happens.
So many people in the room from so many different sectors of the industry, which is very interesting because they learn a little bit about each other, and then they can build on each other's skills and knowledge, which is great. And one last question related to the practice and the team work. So we live in a disruptive world, right, with a lot of crises and wars and economical issues. How does design thinking support teams to better collaborate, navigate change, and also take risks?
To come back to the class experience that students have, where they learn as a positive byproduct to collaborate with each other and to find each other's talents and place them in a right moment, I think this master's really gives them this protected, safe space where they can test, they can try out, and they can fail. And on a practical level, when they get out of this master's, of this MBA, they can apply the same set of tools and skills that they've developed and those social practices in their work to create that safe process where they put a time limit to it. They say it's 2 weeks, it's 2 months, we get to play, we give ourselves permission to play, and we apply those tools, techniques, and methods that help us navigate ambiguity and uncertainty. And design thinking as a process, if you apply it to change, has this beautiful sequence of steps, of phases, we call them, where you are both very optimistic and open and explore and kind of forget all that terrible political context or economic context, and you think big, you think like everything would be possible. And then you have the moments where you narrow it down, you have to do it, you have to show it, you have to be extremely concrete, and you receive feedback and kill your darlings and kill your ideas and then go back and start from scratch.
So it's resilience mostly what you're...
Yeah, I'm training resilience in a way. Yes. It's really a resilience training, because you learn to detach yourselves from your ideas, and creatives tend to clutch to their ideas. It's their ego connected to that idea. So we kind of train them to regard the idea as something that it's fine to put out there and to throw it away if it doesn't bring value, and then start from scratch and deconnect that to your personal value and ego. Yeah.
Okay, what is your key takeaway from this course? What will you bring home with you?
Well, my key takeaway is that most universities that invite me as a professor for MBA classes should definitely have a MBA course in culture and creative industries. I think it's very bold of the university in Bucharest and of you to have kickstarted such an MBA. A second thing I take away is that I really wished for this executive MBA students to meet my other executive MBA students who do just a classical MBA, you know, people from energy sector and oil and construction and automotive, similar profile in the level of career growth they have and in the level of, you know, maturity and experience and responsibility and leadership skills. And I would love to bring those together to tackle those wicked problems of today's world.
They meet here under BBS, Bucharest Business School. We have many MBAs, different profiles, energy, intelligence, creativity, and the MBA and executive MBA, where they can meet or in alumni events, or they can meet here for ideation, for brainstorming, for some presentations. So you're invited to jump in.
I would love to. I would love to see them work together to tackle some of the biggest society issues of the Romanian society or Eastern European society, and put those brains work together in a common language, in a common process. That would be amazing. Are they or are they not? Are they or are they not? So the book is called Are They or Are They Not? Creativity and Innovation Affairs. And this book is really a brilliant example of what can come out if you bring together very different thinking people, like you do it here. So it's 29 authors, both from the many industries, business innovators, management consultants, professors, researchers, and creative people coming together to clarify some of the binomials in the world of innovation and creativity, such as sympathy versus empathy. These are terms that are sometimes used wrongly or mistaken. They are those false friends. You have human-centered or planet-centered. And everything is designed to have only one page where you describe each concept and then, you know, clarify these concepts. And it's a translator, it's a dictionary. It's a dictionary, and it's a beautifully made book. So it's a collaboration that we did during the pandemic with Zoom and Mural Board, and applying all these creative collaboration tools from very different countries and continents, where people came together and said, does it happen to you as well that your clients, your colleagues, your partners mistake growth with development, or empathy with sympathy, or design thinking and service design? Yes, it does happen. And this actually takes up a lot of my time. So I like to use this here in my class. It's an article I wrote about insights and findings. What's the difference between insights and findings? How you take out intelligence from data and transfer it into a very valuable insight. Another one is framework and template. What is a framework? What is a template? So it's really just a way to, through vocabulary clarification, help people translate between managementish and designish, which are two different languages. And it also has a really, really beautiful design by a company called Tina. This is not America. It's a studio based in Porto by two brilliant graphic designers who have actually created this font, a special font for this book. So the whole thing is a celebration of creativity. And it's all a celebration of creativity brought to us by Professor Katja Cimmel, my friend from Porto, who celebrates every year within the International Week of Creativity and Innovation in April, the birthday of Leonardo da Vinci, and brings out a book that has been co-created by different people. And I truly recommend it to you. I will offer you this one because you don't have one, and I think you should.
We can start building the library.
We should.
Upstairs with this.
And invite Katja as a professor to your MBA one day.
Or a guest in your course.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks.
Thank you.